Hey, Drew.
Yes.
So we find out that Obi-Wan has a little brother. Do you think they named him Obi-2? Ha ha!
Okay, I'm done. What's the same from Andrew? Get out.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Maybe he's a Jedi. We just don't know.
Maybe.
And what Obi-Wan? Like, what if he got taken? Not too
I can't hear you. I used to be able to hear you over this, and now I can't. I don't know what happened. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Kenobi-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Season 1, Part 3.
3.
So, I think we
Yes.
should just jump right into this episode. Because there's a lot to talk about. This could be like a 5-hour podcast, plus another hour with the voicemails. So, we're setting records tonight.
Oh gosh, I hope not. I also literally just got done watching it. My heart is still a little bit racing right now. So
Yeah.
if I'm breathing heavy throughout this, I got a notification from my watch to that my heart rate went up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So,
all right, Drew. Fresh off the bat, what are your overall thoughts
do I even have to say it?
of Part 3?
Do I even have to say anything?
Yes, you do. It's your job.
Okay. Well, it was the coolest, craziest roller coaster ride I've had in a Star Wars thing in a hot minute. Probably since the Book of Boba Fett when we got Cad Bane. That
Oh.
episode was kind of wild, and this was kind of blew that one out of the water. It was dope. It was amazing. I said this. I was gonna say last week, but a few days ago, I said, Jeremiah, we're gonna get a lot of Vader in this episode, and spoilers, I was right.
So do I owe you a quarter now? Is that
Yep,
one
you
of
owe
the best
me a
that we
quarter.
had?
Yep.
All right, I'll
So-
send it. I'll send you a check in the mail. Okay.
Okay, make sure you put a date when I can cash that out so it doesn't bounce or anything.
I'll do
Yes.
June 2nd, 2050. How about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, by the end of this episode, we might put more bets down, so maybe you should just hold that. And
Hey,
maybe
I got
can just
some.
pay you back with your own quarter.
I got some crazy tin hat theories, predictions for the future of the show.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you should keep the quarter, and then if I lose, you can just keep it again. Then I know I actually physically owe you. I'm 1-up at this point, which
All right.
it kind of feels nice. It feels nice. But anyways, yes, I absolutely love this episode. If you guys watched my watch party, and if the chat, there's a bunch of people in the chat, you guys were freaking out because my reaction was so crazy. I cried at one point.
When you say okay, I didn't. So when you say you cried,
I
what
didn't
do you mean by cry?
bawl. I had a tear. The whole Obi-Wan and Leia on the cart when she found out that he knew her mom. That part,
And then asked, "Are you my real dad?"
yes, that whole part was
Drew, you become so soft since you had a kid.
Yes, especially when it comes to kid stuff. When it comes to kid stuff, it kills me now. It's it's bad. So yes, I've been pretty soft when it comes to kids. And yeah, that part was amazing to me. I loved it. And the whole Vader stuff was awesome. I'm so confused with the Grand Inquisitor kind of stuff because is that
we'll talk about that. We got
it's kind of great. Maybe
it could go either way. We don't know.
Maybe I owe you a quarter. I don't even know what's going on. Oh, it was good, and the way they ended it was just not okay. I was not happy with the ending. I'm
just because you want more, or are you actually upset? They did a bad job.
No, I want more. And how are you gonna leave me a week like this? This is nuts. We know the outcome, and that's what's really good about this. I have to say, we know the outcome for both of these main characters, right? We know the outcome of Leia, we know the outcome of Obi-Wan, but we're still on the edge of our seats. I can't even talk, like freaking out, breathing heavy, especially when Obi-Wan's getting burned. I'm like, I know he's not gonna die, but this is so intense. Like, how is he gonna get out of this situation? And like, it was just so well done, I think. So I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. This show is just going crazy, and it was shorter episode, but it was still amazing. So, shout outs to you guys over Star Wars. You guys are killing it right now. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
And if you say you hate it,
I thought this was the best episode so far
okay, thank you.
in the season. I thought, season or episode 1 was perfect. I was a little let down with this episode 2, even though it's grown on me. But this one, I just feel like it's so much different than we thought the show was going to be. But it's done so well. Like Deborah Chow is just
she's killing it.
Like, it's just, we just need Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Deborah Chow, and Bryce Dallas Howard just to take over everything, just do everything. Like, I don't know. They're just doing so good at this, but we got so many.
And Taika, don't forget Taika Waititi. I feel like if he gets his hand on a series, it'd be so good.
Well, he has a movie.
He has a movie. Either way,
I think that. No, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, we had a lot of like answers, but we also have like a lot of new questions. We got like all kinds of. We got a huge name drop in here that I didn't expect. But like, and I don't know. There's just so many things in here. Easter eggs and thoughts and stuff, and so it's like this is just perfect in every way. And it's weird because, okay, Vader was terrifying in this episode, but like it's weird because like did you finish Stranger Things?
I am on the last 2 episodes.
Okay, so I think last episode that you just talked, I don't know if it was on air or if it was off air, but like you just said that
a little bit of both, but I was on episode 2.
You were like, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever watched. Like, I don't know, like Stranger Things is so like nonstop in your face, like intense, scary. But like this is this kind of like calm, subtle scariness. It's like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
No, like
it's like a bear chasing you is like Stranger Things. This is like you see like the spiders crawling like from a distance coming at you. Like this is terrifying, and it's calm, but it's terrifying at the same time. I don't know.
It's like so terrifying because the thing that's chasing you is calm about it,
right?
Which makes it worse. It's kind of like
that's a good way to put it.
So like for me, yeah, like everyone, even in the chat, I think it was Will earlier in the watch party, was like, when Vader was doing that whole thing when he was walking down and choking people left and right and like just breaking people's necks and stuff, like the whole thing was like, this feels like I'm watching a horror movie. And like, yes, Stranger Things, like straight up, if you guys are not of age, I would definitely make sure you ask before you can watch it, because that show, especially this season, is like you're watching like a horror film. Like it's crazy. And there's parts of it that I'm like, I didn't get nightmares or anything, but I wouldn't let my wife watch it, because then she won't sleep for like a month, and then I have to deal with that stress. So like I don't want to deal with that. So it's just like parts of that show it's crazy, and like you said, Jeremiah, like in your face, constant stuff. But this show is like not like that, but it's starting to kind of feel like that. It's like really, it's moving really quick. We're 3 episodes in, we already got a freaking Vader and Obi-Wan duel fight. Like that was crazy. And it's crazy, like you said, like when Vader was walking through there choking people, I was like, what the heck is going on? Like he just broke that kid's neck, and like it was so well done. And before we get too far into this episode, the third sister y'all, everyone in the world and the grandma has been hating on her.
Okay,
And
well, that's a whole other thing. But she did a great.
no, I was gonna say she did amazing in this episode, 1. And 2, you guys, like, straight up, everyone needs to chill.
All right.
Just needs to chill. It's not appropriate. It's not okay. And I just want to say that right now. Like,
Okay.
we need to make sure that our listeners and our fans aren't doing that stuff. And you guys are not a fan of Empire Radio if you guys are sending messages like that. Like, it's not okay. It's not appropriate. But anyways, back to the fun stuff. Like, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I took notes, but I was like, once Vader showed up, I didn't really know how to take notes, and
That's
so
fair.
like I just kind of we just got kind of wing that. But there's so many things in here. So okay, so we'll just do our normal scene by scene from the start. So it starts off they're still on the transport shuttle thing, and Obi-Wan is meditating and reaching out to Qui-Gon again. So he's done this every episode so far.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, we're confident that Liam Neeson's voice is going to show up, right, in this show. Like,
Besides what we got,
I mean, like, new.
no, I think we're gonna see him, dude.
Oh, we're not going to see him. That's
Dude.
not. We already know that he can't. He didn't finish his training.
No, but
We learned that in Clone Wars. He told Yoda that he only was able to finish the training to preserve his consciousness. He's not able to project himself.
But don't we see him in episode 6 though?
Episode 6.
Yeah, the re-edited version, isn't he in that group?
Qui-Gon?
Yeah, isn't he?
No.
Why did I think he was?
No, they took out the original Anakin actor and put in Hayden.
I know that.
I don't think they put Qui-Gon in there.
I thought they did. I might be wrong. Well, the chat will let me know if I'm wrong in like 5 seconds. But
I bet you another quarter.
I don't know. I'm not that confident.
But
for some reason thought.
But we know that he can't project himself unless the only time that he did
okay.
in quotes.
Thanks.
The only thing he did in quotes, like when he did that, is like in Clone Wars when on the Mortis arc, he projects himself to Obi-Wan like in a physical Force ghost. But that's just because Mortis was the Force. That was like a pure place of the Force. So it was like things were a little different there. But
gotcha. But
it was just cool how he's meditating and then he's having these voices in his head.
Yoda.
And then his third sister, just kind of what she was saying. But and then so while he's doing this, Vader's getting put back together and getting his suit put on. I'm like, this is so cool.
That beginning sequence was so clean. It was so nice. Like you said, Jeremiah, like the way that he was meditating, he's hearing all these different voices, and you're thinking maybe he's gonna get a breakthrough. At the same time, on the other side, they're showing flashes of Vader getting built, and it's just like it's such an intense moment because you're like thinking, is he gonna actually connect to Qui-Gon? But then at the same time, Vader is getting built in the background. Like
he's getting connected together.
It's such like a intense moment, and like at this point too, Vader knows that Obi-Wan's out there. I think so. It's like it's just such a impactful moment,
and it was definitely Hayden's face that they put like makeup on, which is great. And what's interesting though is
the chat put back together like an IKEA chair. Yep.
But what was I forgot what I was gonna say. So when we see Vader was it Empire Strikes Back? We see like the back of his head, and then in Return of the Jedi, we see his face. So like he has injuries on his head and face that he doesn't have here. So like we know that he's continued to get wrecked. Like
yep.
And did you know that in Return of the Jedi, when Vader picks up Palpatine, like when you see like his skeleton shows or whatever, like if you freeze frame it, like his neck is broke and he has like a reconstructed neck of like metal bars and plates and stuff. So at some point post, Revenge of the Sith, he gets his neck broke.
what if Obi-Wan does it?
Yeah, so like, where are these new injuries going to come? Are we ever going to see that? I don't know, but it'd be
Dude,
cool if we get that.
Wouldn't it be sick if they do a spin-off of a Vader show?
Oh, no one. That's never going to happen. Because the meme is, I want a Vader spinoff, and then it's Obi-Wan on Mustafar yelling, Anakin, the whole saga is your spinoff. Like, the first 6 movies is all about Vader. Like, that's what it is.
That's fair. That's a good meme. Yeah. But at the same time, like, we need to come on.
I know what you mean though. Like, it would be cool to see like a Vader centric show. But like, I know they have like the Vader comics and
just take from it.
I don't know.
Like, I still have money down that we're gonna see Black Chrysanthemum. I don't know if we're gonna see him, but I don't know. It'd be cool if we did.
Possibly. But at the end of his meditation scene, Obi-Wan, in his mind says he's coming to Qui-Gon. Which, so like you can tell, so like last episode when Obi-Wan says Anakin at the very end, and then it flashes to Vader. I think they made a forced connection right there. Like they sensed each other for the first time, and so then that's how he knows that Vader knows, and so he's like, Vader is coming.
Yeah,
which is a plea to Qui-Gon, like, hey, if you're gonna show up, like,
hello?
This is he's coming to kill me.
Answer my phone call. Like,
but yes. And so then after this, we go to Mustafar, which it's always great to be on Mustafar, especially when we get to see Vader's castle. And so he is talking to the third sister via hologram.
Yes.
And we got the OG James Earl Jones voicing Vader.
Yeah,
like
so
that
good.
guy is like 150 years old. Like, how is he
he's
still?
Not that old, but
he is super old. He's like in his 80s though.
Chat, help us out. How old is James Earl Jones? Also, still the GOAT. Dude, that boy's the best. I will probably cry when he passes away. Just saying, straight up. I think that's someone that
they got to put him in a suit and keep him alive.
That's for real. That is someone that I'm like, I need to get a signature from him before he passes because he's 91. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
that makes sense because he didn't go to Celebration. I wonder if he's afraid that he could like COVID and stuff. Like,
I don't know, someone breathes on him and he's like falls over. So
yeah, I love his cameo in like Big Bang and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's in there sometimes. Yeah, like, and then Mark Hamill's in there, and
Mark Hamill marries
them too. Yeah, that's funny.
That's so funny.
But yes, so then they're talking, but like Vader, I think he mentioned something about how she's always failing, but like with this task of hunting Obi-Wan, if you fail, it seemed like he implied that you will die or I will kill you if you fail with this.
That was my take, is like, if you don't actually get this done, no, I'm going to kill you myself. But
right,
if you win,
and so the stakes are very, very high with this mission. Because so you never finished Jedi Fallen Order, right?
The game, no, but I've seen
you've seen the
all
end.
of it. Yeah,
you've seen the end. So like Trilla, I forget what number sister she was, but
9? Am I right?
Maybe, I can't remember. But when Vader shows up at the end and she's just terrified, he's like, "You failed me for the last time, Inquisitor," and then kills her.
Yeah.
So like, if you fail,
she's a second
sister. So if you're constantly failing with Vader, he's gonna kill you. And what's interesting, because the contrast with this is, if she succeeds with this, she's gonna be appointed as the new Grand Inquisitor, which is interesting. And then in a later scene, when third sister arrives at the Inquisitorius facility and goes to the fifth brother and the other Inquisitor, the fifth brother's like, I'm next in line to be the Grand Inquisitor. So here's the two takeaways, because we were like, is the Grand Inquisitor dead? Did they just fake us out with the same species and it's actually not the same Grand Inquisitor from Rebels? And it's kind of it's still up in the air because it seems like they're looking for a replacement. Like, okay, the Grand Inquisitor's dead. It's like, okay, now who's up for the next spot? But I feel like if he was dead, then
Wouldn't
the
they
fifth
just give it to the
brother
fifth
would have
brother
been
right away?
would have been appointed fifth brother right away. So like, I don't know if there's this kind of like a Grand Inquisitor trial, like test type thing, where you have to like do something to earn it, to finally like get that last step to like test out to that. But I don't know. So we don't know for sure. I do now have my doubts that I feel like he's probably still alive.
Oh, you swapped. Why?
Just
Just
because
because they haven't gave it to anyone else?
right. I feel like the fifth brother would have been like the vice president. Like when the president dies, the vice president takes over
Well, and we
immediately.
know that the fifth brother is, unless they keep making the same people, races, the same numbers. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because the fifth brother is clearly the same fifth brother from Rebels,
Yes.
and so he never becomes Grand. So
Right.
I don't know.
So
It's just it's
I don't
kind
know.
of weird.
I like this mystery of this Grand Inquisitor thing. It's just an interesting like
concept.
and it's just us asking questions. And I'm sure we'll get that answered by the end of the show.
Or what if they just mess up canon and killed them off?
Oh well, I can't stand people like saying like canon's completely like broke by like. There's all these haters out there complaining about the show, like how like everything in canon is now completely ruined. Like
Because she says Anakin is Skywalker.
That and like there's so many things that's more like Obi-Wan's line from a certain point of view. Like it's one of those things where it's from a certain point of view, it's not broken. It's kind of like you just have to allow it to be what it is, and just assume that it's not. Kind of like I don't know. We had a big debate in the Discord about does this child Leia know that Obi-Wan or knows that Ben that she was introduced to is Obi-Wan in A New Hope? Like, does she know that? Because as of last episode, she doesn't know his name, and in this episode, she's calling him Ben.
Yes.
And so, like, does she know that in this moment, if he's Obi-Wan?
But the thing is, she has to know because that lady says Obi-Wan.
So that's what I was saying. In this episode, she says the name Obi-Wan when they're in that hideout room.
Yeah.
But Leia's putting her things together on the other side of the room, so then they're just having their own conversation. So it's like
maybe she didn't overhear that, but dude,
but
that
then
girl's
like
smart as heck. She's paying attention to everything.
Because the argument was last week that on the hologram when she sees his hologram, like why are they searching for you? Why are you like in Arabesh? Like his name is Obi-Wan on there. It says that, but she's calling him Ben. This episode. So it's like, when does she ever find out that her rescuer is Obi-Wan Kenobi, who she contacts in episode 4 with the message? Like,
but maybe she's saying that because she wants to just get that name in her head, so she doesn't call him Obi-Wan.
That's true too. Like I was thinking of that, but
she was like really in shock when he messed up her name.
Oh yeah,
like she was like, oh. Like she so maybe she's already that conscious, like that aware of the situation at hand, and knows that like I have to call him Ben or I'm gonna mess up and call him by his Jedi name that he's not supposed to be a Jedi right now.
Yes,
I'm guessing she knows, but why would that make it not canon? Just because of
I don't know. I just feel like if she does know as a child that that's Obi-Wan Kenobi, I feel like then she would have mentioned that in her message to Kenobi in episode 4.
Oh, because
like, hey, remember me? Remember when you rescued me from the third sister? Like,
yeah. Because all she said was like,
you served with my father during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I feel like she does not know that he's Obi-Wan Kenobi in this show, and I don't think until post A New Hope does she find that out, because obviously she names her son Ben, and so she learns that. So it's personal. That name is personal, not just to Luke being Ben.
Well, but even when Luke was told her that Obi-Wan was with her, and that's why he needs to come with her in the cell in A New Hope, she was like, Ben, like she like looked up, like, you know what I mean?
Because
He's
Luke
like, I'm here
says,
with Ben Kenobi, and then he was like,
does
she's
he
like,
say Ben
Ben
Kenobi or do you
yeah,
say Obi-Wan Kenobi?
No, he said Ben.
Really?
Yeah, he does. It's my favorite movie. Chad, help me out. Back me up. I'm pretty sure he said, I'm here with Ben Kenobi. And then she's like, Ben Kenobi? Where? And then that's when.
But
like,
how would she know that name, though? Like,
because that's what.
like, but why would she be excited for that name when she sent for Obi-Wan Kenobi? It's just weird that, like, she sent for Obi-Wan Kenobi and then someone else.
That's what I think. I think she knows it as both, and she just didn't want to mention that in the quick hologram just in case it got picked up.
I don't know.
Maybe she was afraid she was going to be used for bait again.
I don't know. I'll have to go look at this scene again. Maybe bet another quarter. I don't know.
Oh, you bet another quarter. We have 3 people in the chat looking it up right now. So.
All right. So the Grand Inquisitor stuff is great. And it was how we know the stakes for the third sister. If she fails, which we know she does, she's going to get killed by, assumingly, Vader, unless in her failure, she gets killed by Obi-Wan or something. But
yeah.
Anyway, after this, it goes back to Leia and Obi-Wan in a transport, and Leia asks about the Force, like what does it feel like, or how does it work? And it's interesting because I was kind of hoping a little bit more with this, because from the High Republic books, we get these amazing illustrations about how each individual Jedi, how they see and interpret the Force. Like, one's the ocean, one's fire, one's music, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been interesting. Like, they could have taken that and, like, Obi-Wan gave, like, his, like, a more, in-depth understanding of how he sees it, like fire or water or whatever. He just said here it's like when you're in the dark and the light turns on, how do you feel? And it's safe. And, like, so his view is he feels safe. Oh, yeah.
Yellow Snow is good in the chat said, yeah. Luke says Ben Kenobi, and Leia says Ben Kenobi. So by that she knows, because she sent it to Obi-Wan, but she knew who Ben was, so she does know.
But if she says Ben Kenobi ? And she's like, who the heck is Ben Kenobi?
No, that's not what that was. Because she said, Ben Kenobi, where? Like, she was like super happy. Okay. That's when she got out of the cell.
Well, when we're done here, I'm gonna go do my own investigation. I trust the chat, but
gonna chat.
Anyway, so yes, that's Leia's first lesson about the Force. Is it's like turning the light on in the dark and you feel safe. And while this is happening, Ben. Now I'm gonna get his name. Now I'm getting saying Ben all the time. Obi-Wan, it fixes Lola, her little droid. So, that was nice.
Jeremiah's gonna watch the first half of A New Hope.
No, that's in the second half of A New Hope.
That's in the second half.
Well, the hologram is in the first half. The jail scene is in the second half. But yes, so she gets her droid back, and then that's when the transport lands on it looks like a semi-desert planet, kind of. Some planted. It kind of just looks like Nevada or something. Like, there's just bushes and brush.
I literally said that in the chat. I was like, what is this freaking Vegas?
Some people thought it kind of looked like a little bit like Tython. Just like in some of the spots on Tython from Mandalorian.
Oh,
even though there's more, plants and foliage on Tython, but it kind of had, some of those spots kind of had a little similar feel. But the planet's name is Mapuzo, I believe it's pronounced Mapuzo, which is interesting. And then, so when they land, we see that droid from the trailer that we've seen. So, like,
the one that everyone thought was a clone.
was Rex.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then he's just unloading the cargo ship. Now I have a question, and I don't know if this is going to be answered specifically because I tried to look it up on Wikipedia to see if there was an accreditation, but he was there with an astromech, and that astromech was white and pink. So I'm wondering if that's R2KT. Are you familiar with R2KT? The Pink Droid. So one of the founders of the 501st, his daughter. So this was back in like the early 2000s. His daughter got like terminal brain cancer or something like that, and they made a R2 droid that was, and her name was Katie, and so R2KT was yellow, was pink and white, and then they ended up putting that droid in the Clone Wars. There's episodes where there's a white and pink droid named R2KT, and so
that's amazing.
So this droid, this astromech R2 unit that's on the landing pad is white and pink, and so she was worked with the 501st.
Oh, that's sick.
And so like I'm wondering if that's R2KT. I don't know if that's ever. I tried looking up on Wikipedia to see if if it was accredited yet, but it wasn't. So maybe it will eventually come out. But I think that's a 501st astromech working with this underground thing.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
R2KT. That's my one of my hopes right there for the episode.
Oh, me too. That's awesome. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. But sadly, we learned that in this episode that this planet was a thriving planet at one point with tons of people and villages and homes. But the Empire came and stripped it of its resources, and it's a mining planet, and so they're mining on it because when they're flying in, you can kind of see like the spiral like around the hills like that you see.
Yeah.
And so Kenobi criticizes the Empire for doing bad things, but when Leia speaks about I'm part of the Empire or whatever she said, he's like, well, your dad is trying to do good things.
No, she said, I thought the Empire helps people.
Oh yeah, and then Kenobi's like, well, your father is, but not everyone's a good. And then this is when we see Obi-Wan has I don't know, I want to call it a vision, but he sees a cloaked figure in the distance, and it turns, and it's Anakin.
Everything in my body.
It was Anakin in a robe, which they had to put him far off because Hayden Christensen's looking kind of old these days. Even though he's only like 40 or something, he has a lot of wrinkles, and so they had to put him off in the distance. So,
like Andrew said, he doesn't really have a good skincare routine. I don't think he's a little wrinkly.
Who said that?
No, the Andrew always talks about his skincare routine, and I'm saying Andrew would probably say that he didn't have a good one.
Yeah, but so he Obi-Wan kind of was like freaking out in that moment, and then Leia gets his attention, like, what's wrong? And then he looks up again, and he's gone. So
that was such an intense moment.
Yeah,
because at some point now, because that moment, if he escapes, we're going to see them interacting that way, I think.
What?
Like Vader somehow interacting through the vision of like Obi-Wan interacting through the Force as Hayden and not Vader.
Oh, possibly. Oh, that's interesting to think of it that way.
Because I think he saw that. I think Vader put that in his head.
You do?
I do. I think that has something to do with the Force, and like he can feel Vader's presence getting closer, and Vader is giving him like these visions of him to like kind of figure out where he's located to. Like,
I don't know. I think it's more his anxiety and mental health issues and freaking out just because.
But wouldn't that be a cool concept?
It would be, but I don't know if Vader like does that kind of thing. Does he?
Well,
I don't know. I guess we will learn, but
I mean, his nephew does.
okay, that's
I'm just saying, like,
that's
it's
a whole
possible. I'm
different. That's a
saying
whole
it's
different
I
dyad in
know,
the Force thing.
I know,
That's
but
different.
I'm just saying, like, it'd be interesting if that's my, because my biggest thing is like, besides that scene, I'm like, why the heck is Caden, like, why is he there? Because one, you can't even tell that's him with all that makeup they did on him. So we have to see him as him, I think, at some point. And maybe it's all flashbacks, or
Well,
maybe it's
I
like,
think when we saw him in the getting put together, I think that was just that was meant to be like we can't recognize him. But like if we saw like physical Vader in his costume and then he takes his helmet off, I think it's gonna be more recognizable just because
mhm.
it was in a looks like he was in a sauna getting put together. So like it was all
That's what I'm
foggy
saying.
and
Like, even then, though, I feel like we can barely, like, I don't know. I think we're gonna have to see more of him like that because, like, even when he has his helmet on, it's not his voice. Like, you know what I mean? So it's
right.
like, what
But
is?
I'm pretty sure in all the scenes though it is Hayden in the costume at least.
I hope so.
I think it is.
So I mean that's cool, but you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
it's
because I was
like the
just thinking
Din Djarin
how
thing in Boba Fett, like how
he probably
his,
did was never there.
yeah, it was actually confirmed he was never there.
Oh, interesting.
So it was, he just did the voice from a distance and sent it in. So it's like, but this point, it's not even his voice because it's a different voice actor playing Vader's voice. So it's just like, why are you there if unless we get these scenes? And I think we're gonna get more scenes or maybe flashbacks. But
I think we'll get flashbacks. I still think that with okay, earlier on, Vader says to the third sister, "I've been watching you for a while,"
mm-hmm.
and so one of my theories is so I still think that the girl from the flashback is the third sister.
I think everyone. I don't even know if that's a theory anymore. I think
So
everyone's just
and
assuming.
I think there's more evidence later on. We'll get to why I still
Yes.
think that, but I feel like Anakin captures her in the temple in that moment, in that scene. And I think she's one of the first to be recruited because I'm assuming the numbers are the order they were brought on. So she was the third sister. So she was the third female brought in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm assuming.
I would hope that's how that works.
So I feel like she was taken early, but then we find out. But last episode, he's like, you were taken found in the gutter. So I don't know. I still think that he recruited her very early on.
Yeah.
And he kind of had his eye on her from the beginning, even though she's been like the worst Inquisitor. He has plans for her in a sense if she can succeed. So
She's also the most brutal, and she taps in the dark side, I feel like, a lot with how rash and how quick to action she is, which I think Vader likes that because that's his style.
right,
Like, he's very like, I'm gonna kill you. I don't care who you are. I don't like the things that she did in the first couple episodes is very similar to the things that Vader did in that scene where he walked through. You know what I mean? Like, he just walked in and started killing people,
oh
and
yeah,
and she got a lot of hate from just cutting some random girl's hand off. And, like, you know what I
right.
mean? Like, the fifth brother didn't like that she did that and saying that you're too quick to action, you're too rash, and you're too harsh, and it's not gonna work like
So
that.
she's just trying to be like
But then
Vader,
she's
and
like, I'm trying to be like Vader. Vader's just going in and mauling people down and stuff. Why can't I? So
right,
I think he might like that, but also she's more of like a firecracker. It's kind of also hard to tame that. So
right. So anyway, after this is when the third sister arrives at the Inquisitor facility. It was just cool seeing her walk through the facility and having like everyone like
Inquisitorium
how everyone just kind of stopped and like
stared at her.
and kind of just like went to what is it called?
Salute.
It's not salute, but like stood at attention. That's what it is. As she walked through, I thought that was cool. And then that's the scene when she sees the fifth brother and the other Inquisitor, and it's kind of like, I'm next in line, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, I just talked to Vader directly myself, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's just kind of like trying to flaunt that over. And he was surprised that they talked, which is interesting. Because he felt like he's next in line on paper. And it's like, why are you talking to Vader type of thing?
And at that point, I don't know if he's ever talked to Vader.
Oh, they did, because they're all, the Inquisitors are trained by Vader.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So obviously the Grand Inquisitor is probably like the main guy that kind of does a lot of the stuff just because he's the top guy. But Vader, that's his program. And so he kind of had at least at the beginning, had a lot of say and a lot of training that he did with the Inquisitors. But then after this, they say that Obi-Wan was tracked to a mining system, but they're going to send out probes. And so that's the scene from the trailer of those probes getting shot out. And I thought it was really cool how they showed like the little launch things, like getting loaded and then floop, and then like getting shot up. I thought that was this cool little extra scene that they didn't have to put in there, but like they just kind of showed it. I thought it was fun. But after this, they go back to Mapuzo and they get to the meeting point, and no one was there. And then Obi-Wan was like, I know we shouldn't have trusted them. They lied. And like Leia is like, calm down, okay? Like, take a chill pill. And then they see like this.
Well, and then he was like, not all people are good. Like,
he like snapped at her. Like, he didn't just say, like, he was like,
I was
really
like,
quick.
Chill, son. Let her be innocent. Damn.
But so then she sees like what we would say as like an old truck, like a backwoods truck just going through the desert type of thing. And she's like waving at him like, hey, let's help this person. He's like, no, we can't. And she's like, he looks nice, even though he's like 300 feet away. You can't even see anything, like who it is. But she's already like just automatically saying, oh, he's nice. And we meet Freck, Freck, Freck.
Yeah.
And he looks like
Freck.
He looks like a hairless mole. I think is the moles that have those weird little finger lip things. Yeah, something.
He looks like a naked mole rat.
Yeah, so he was a fun, cool guy, but he had an Imperial flag on the back of his truck, which I heard some people make some comparisons to some other redneck trucks. But yeah, so he has a good relationship with the Empire, where he knows all the troopers and they know him by a first name basis, and he kind of just goes through the routine and
he kept his job. And
and so how Leia was like, oh, we love the Empire, and he's like, oh, it's good to hear some like-minded folks. Nothing wrong with some order or something like that.
Structure and order.
Structure and order. So like that's something that is true that the Empire did, that kind of brought order to places that now is obviously easily oppressive if you don't follow it perfectly. But like from the Mandalorian, the one guy that was looking for the baby, like he says that if you look at every statistic, like the Empire brings prosperity. So it's kind of like, obviously those kind of like fudged, exaggerated numbers probably, but it is just like
a little bit.
But like if you follow the rules and you just stay in line, like it's not that bad, like in his opinion of this guy Freck. So he was an interesting character. I liked him at first, and then later on I realized I don't like him because he turned them in basically. But we'll get to that scene. And so as they're going along, a squad of troopers stop the truck, wave them down. Like Freck's like, "What? Your transport's late again?" And they're like, "Yeah." Well, hop on in. I'll bring you. I'll take you where you gotta go. And And so this is scary because Obi-Wan and Leia are there in the back of the truck, and then these troopers get on. And so Freck tells them, "Oh, this is Luma," and I forget what they said. What Leia named Obi-Wan, I forget what it was. It was like Horan or Horm or something like, I don't know. I can't remember. But so Freck tells that to the trooper. "Oh, this is Luma and whoever." And I'm like, okay, they're just whatever. And so then the troopers are sort of asking them questions like, "We're looking for a Jedi," and then Obi-Wan's like, "I wouldn't even know what a Jedi looks like if I saw one." Blah blah blah. And so I thought Leia did a great job of like trying to lie and give a convincing story. And so she says that we're just here to visit where my dad met our mother years ago. And then Obi-Wan screws up and calls her.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan's like, oh, because he's like, where you guys? How did you guys get here? Where you're from? And he's like, they're from this place. And he's like, oh, how did you guys get here? He's like, oh, that's a long story. And then he's like, it's a long drive.
Yeah, but when he kind of tells Leia to like kind of like basically stop talking, he calls her Leia rather than Luma, and the trooper catches that right away. And then Obi-Wan did a great job of fixing the story. Like, oh, that was my wife's name, but she's no longer with us. And when I look at my daughter, I always tend to see my wife. And so then it was funny because like if you watch that trooper, like he feels like embarrassed almost. Like I don't know. I thought it was kind of just interesting, like the mannerisms of this thing. Like, oh crap, I don't know. So it's like these troopers, they seemed like they're just regular people. Like,
and
like we've talked about in the podcast how like a lot of troopers, they're just trying to provide for their families, like work, blah blah blah, and they get kind of thrown into crappy situations. Kind of like the sympathizer that's not the sympathizer, but the lady that's helps them. Like she works in the Empire. It's like I did some terrible things, but I can, fake it and help people when I can. And so like a lot of these troopers, they're just regular people, and they're just kind of forced to do stupid, terrible things at times. But like at the end of the day, just a lot of them are still just regular people, and when they hear that story, they have sympathy or compassion in a sense.
Yeah, but I think also with that too is like what made them more human like too is that Frick knew them by their first name, not by their troop number.
Did he call the troopers by their first name?
Yeah, he was calling them by their names.
Was he? Oh,
yeah.
I don't remember that.
So like it seemed like he had a relationship with them. They probably see them without their helmets on, like at the bar or whatever, like
get the cantina scene. That'd be funny.
So I think I like that. I like that concept. Like you had more sympathy for the troopers in the sense of like they're just doing their job. They probably were forced into the Empire, or they like not all of them are like evil people. Like
right. So then after this, the troopers get to their spot and they get off. And Leia puts things together and says, "You knew my mother, didn't you?" And he kind of like can't, say no. Like he's honest and so then she's like, you've been lying I know you've been lying to me or holding something back. And then she's like, she asked, "Are you my real father?" Which I just thought was a great, like, I don't know how to describe, but it was just a very honest moment, and I don't know how to. I don't know how to. Like, it was just a great, unexpected scene that she because she says, like, because Obi-Wan says, I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not, but I wish I was, or something like that. And I think Leia says, "I wish I knew him." I forget what he says after that, but it's something.
Because I'm watching it right now. She said, "Are you my real father?" And then he says, "I wish that I could say I was, but no, I'm not." And then she has like a sigh, like depression, like, and then she
Right.
says, "Sometimes I try to imagine what he would look like. I know that's." And then he said, "I know that feeling." And then he started talking about
Right.
his
Yeah.
situation.
So this brings up something interesting because, um, after I can't remember if it was whatever, sometime when the first or second episode after that, watching those, like I was thinking about how the scene in Return of the Jedi when Luke and Leia are talking on Endor about, you know, their origins, and Leia talks
Mm-hmm.
about how she remembers her mother, and the way she talks about her real mom is very similar to the way that Kenobi talks about his parents and little brother, because
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, I think Leia said I think they both say something like it's more of just a feeling, and
Yeah.
I think Leia says something like she was kind but sad,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like same with Kenobi. He kind of just like, I remember my mother's shawl, my dad's hands, and um, a baby, and I think it was my brother. And so I don't know how old Kenobi was when he was taken, but he was obviously older than Leia, because Leia was just a baby when she only was in Padme's presence for maybe a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was interesting how they both talk about kind of like vague like feelings, nothing
Yeah.
like
And
actual there. And I
yeah.
feel like, I don't know if when Leia, you know, gives that description, if she's kind of reminded of how Obi-Wan talked about his parents,
Ooh,
like in that
that's.
moment, because it's very similar language, and so
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously that's purposeful by the writers, um, but like it's almost like this was her second lesson about the Force in a sense. She learned about the darkness and the light, and then here it's kind of just you know Jedi are taken from their parents at a young age, and it's feelings, vague memories that aren't even
Yeah.
like things. So it's like, I thought that was just a really cool
It also seemed like
lesson.
maybe the Force can give you those. You have
Impre-
more
yeah,
sensitive to like people's feelings and thoughts and emotions. So like
right.
maybe as a baby, she could feel the way her mother was giving birth and how she was feeling in that moment, just instantly because of how force sensitive she is and stuff.
Or it could even be, um, with before being born, like still in the
Oh,
womb,
true.
being able to
They do say like they can tell.
like to have those connections with the mother,
Hmm.
like in the womb. So if you're force sensitive, maybe there's just a stronger imprint that you wouldn't normally have, which is, I don't
Why do I have a feeling that Leia was kicking Luke a lot in the womb?
know. I don't know. It would have been cool if they had that in Revenge of the Sith, like what, like the baby's
Leia's
kicking
trying
really
to.
bad.
Why did Luke lose his heart? Oh, I think it's because Leia's choking him out a little bit, and it's like force choking through the womb.
Leia's force choking Luke in the womb. That would be kind of funny.
That'd be so funny.
But we're still
Someone needs
kind
to make a meme.
yeah. But like, yeah, I don't know. This whole scene was just a great scene, and overall in this episode, like I really like, because like last episode I was kind of like, okay, Leia's kind of annoying, but now like she's understood the situation better, and she's very very mature for her age. Like we knew she was super like better than like every person in the galaxy already at 10 years old, but like
Yeah.
now she understands the situation. She's still her assertive, like I know what I want, I'm gonna do what I do, but she's very understands the situation and has wisdom and trusts Obi-Wan more. And I thought that this scene was just a great part of that, where it bonded them more and where she trusts
Mhm.
him more.
Yep.
um so then as they're talking, they pull up to a checkpoint, And what do you think of this scene, Drew? The checkpoint scene.
The checkpoint scene. I thought it was good. It makes sense why he probably, I mean, one, maybe the driver was also kind of hearing their conversation briefly, that they're being a little secretive. Maybe you couldn't hear the whole, like, Obi-Wan kept talking about being a Jedi and stuff, but like maybe you couldn't hear that necessarily, but you could hear that they're being kind of sneaky back there. So maybe that's why he had second thoughts as like the driver.
Yeah, I also think like he drives this route every day. It seems like back and forth.
Yeah,
he
it's
knows what
weird
goes
to
on.
randomly find people.
Randomly find a person, or especially like a father, like a man, and like a young daughter, like, and
well, and like up until this point too, he didn't know that they were searching for a Jedi, right? Like
maybe
the driver,
I don't know.
he
I think
didn't
the
know it
trooper
until
said
the
something.
other troopers said that, hey, we're looking for a Jedi. So I feel like at that point, then he was able to maybe put it more together at the drive after he dropped off those troopers. Like maybe you all should check out this.
But I also think when they first meet him, when Leia runs up, she's like, "I'm Lola, and this is my father. This is my father."
Yeah, she kind of
stumbled. So I wonder if he caught that right at the moment, and I think that might have been kind of like the first tell, like something's a little shifty with these guys, like shady with these guys. So I don't know, but you know, he knows that he has to maintain a faithful relationship with the troopers to like keep them off his back. So he's like, if I'm just honest with them, like, hey, you know, your story doesn't line up a little bit, you might want to talk to them. Like, he's just going to continue his relationship with the troopers and keep his safety and all that jazz. So so they're asked to get out of the truck, and then a probe droid comes in and it's like, you know, lift up your head so I can see your face type of thing. And so,
well, even as he stepped out of the truck, he unbuckled his gun.
Right. So like,
he kind of knew it might go down.
So my question though is to you, like, so then it goes, he lifts up his head, and then you see like the camera footage from the probe droid from that
Which
angle,
was cool.
And then it turns red, like it, you know, it scanned it, and then it got, okay, this is who we're looking for. Do you think, on Obi-Wan's perspective, like it showed the red, like an alarm in a sense, like now he knows that he's been scanned and it's found him? Because like I feel like he could have just shot it before it turned red, because it turned red and then it sent the message out.
Yeah, maybe it or made a noise or something that he was realizing.
I feel like if he was just gonna shoot it anyway, like why did he let it look at his face?
Maybe he didn't think it was actually gonna scan. Yeah, he must have. There must have been some sort of reaction from the droid that told him that this was a.
Because it was like it turned red, and then like half a second later he shoots it. So it's like, where, I don't know. I was a little like, why did he let him scan it? Let it scan him. I don't know. But then it was just a shootout, classic shootout in Star Wars. This trooper's getting killed. He's grabbing people, hiding people. And then one trooper takes a prisoner, puts the gun down. And as he's putting the gun down, he quick shoots him.
You missed the coolest part though. When the trooper on top gets shot and falls, and the laser.
Oh, that was after that. Wasn't it after that shot?
No, it was
because he grabs
his Leia at the end. Leia's the last thing he did.
Okay,
but yes, Leia behind for some weird reason.
I was surprised that they went that far with that trooper getting shot and falling on the.
Dude, it was so dope. And even when he went, like I'm watching it right now, even when he went to go open the gate, the trooper is still in half, like on the ground right there, and it's clearly obvious. It's so dope. I was like, that's so sick.
Like, first we got a hand cut off in the first episode. Yeah, guy cut in half here. This is like we see Mando cut a guy in half.
True. I mean, they're going all for it.
Maybe they're just trying to ease their way to a rated R Star Wars
If
movie.
you, let's go, please, Vader.
We need
Vader show, fully rated R Vader show.
We need the Duffer Brothers, who make Stranger Things, make a TV show.
Vader, like a Vader. Let them get a hold of Vader,
dude.
And
the Duffer Brothers made
make it. Disney Plus has a thing where you log in and make sure you're of age to watch certain content.
They did change it, but that's just so they can get other stuff on there too. But
exactly, and
no, I'm saying like other works, like X-Men stuff that's rated
it's hard
R.
because the audience, but
right.
Please.
Man, I just want a Star Wars show that's intense like Stranger Things.
Yeah, a Vader.
Man, I don't know.
If they did with Vader, what else would they do it with?
I don't know. I still want like a Jedi hunting show, like where they're just post Order 66, just hunting down
Vader. What? Vader and the Inquisitor killing down younglings and stuff. Because at a certain point they mentioned how even like the younglings are getting hunted now. Like even people that are Force sensitive are getting hunted by the Inquisitors. So that would be a sick show. It'd be brutal, and half of Star Wars' audience wouldn't be allowed to watch it, but I'm down.
Well, when I win a $500 million Powerball someday, I'll make a fan fiction that's rated R.
I feel like at this point you might have spent all your money with all the stuff you were planning to do and all your fan fiction.
But. Well, we'll see. Yes, they go through the gate, and then another transport with troopers comes in, and we see the scene from the trailer of some Imperial woman getting off as well. Okay, so this is who we thought was a villain, but
she's not.
She's not. So I feel like they. So I knew the moment she lifted up her gun that she was going to kill the troopers.
Yeah, because
I wish they
weren't even.
I wish that they didn't show that scene. I wish they had just shown the troopers, her get off, and then Obi-Wan, on the ground like he was.
And then bam, 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 bam.
And then you hear the gunshots, and then you see her. I felt like that was one little nitpicky thing in this episode. It was that they kind of like gave that away. Like I connected that quick, but it's whatever. I thought it was great, and which is interesting, that at least one of those stormtroopers was a female stormtrooper. Because you can hear in the voice, but also in the subtitles it says female stormtrooper.
Oh, that's cool.
So we've had female First Order stormtroopers in the sequel trilogy, but I think this is the first time we've seen a female stormtrooper. And I don't think there was any in Rebels. I remember. But I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
That's really cool.
That was cool. But yes, so this lady, her name is Tala, I believe. She was supposed to meet them at the rendezvous point, but the probe droid was already sent, and troopers were already doing their thing, and she's like, "Well, I couldn't meet you." But she found him anyway, got him in, snuck him into town, and they have
after that is the Inquisitors. After they get with him, they go right to the Inquisitorium again, talking about the map.
Oh yeah, that was a really quick scene. I didn't even have that in my notes. So.
Oh really? Well, it's kind of important because they find out that he's there, and then they have an interaction, and then the fifth brother told Vader already before the third sister could.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna inform Vader, and then the fifth brother's like, he's already been informed.
Oh yeah, right. Yes, I remember that now.
So he went behind her back,
right,
to talk to Vader too. So it's like
these two are gunning for each other.
Yep.
I think it'd be cool if we saw. Like I said, I know like it's either Obi-Wan or Vader's gonna kill the third sister. Like I'm sure of that, but I think it'd be still cool to see the fifth brother and the third sister duel each other.
I was gonna say we don't know. Maybe the fifth brother kills her.
I don't know. That'd be cool too.
right before she tries to kill Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan escapes because of it.
Yeah, the fifth brother kills the third sister, and then Vader in front of Vader's, okay, you're the Grand Inquisitor now, and then the Grand Inquisitor from Rebels comes in and then kills, like, I don't know, doesn't kill the fifth brother, obviously, because he's still there, but I don't know.
So, but at this point, they don't know what happened. She blamed the Kenobi for allegedly killing the Grand Inquisitor, right?
Yes, she does. I believe that is true.
That's what she said in the hologram to Vader.
I think so, yeah. So I wonder. No, I think maybe it was the fifth brother that said that first.
No, the third sister said that to Vader. I'm pulling fast.
I don't know. I do remember you saying that. Yeah. So they're under the impression that Obi-Wan stabbed the Inquisitor, which is interesting. But I wonder if Vader knows that the third sister is lying.
I mean,
because he says say like I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor. Like he's like he means nothing. Like
Obi-Wan is what matters now.
Right.
But at the same time, he also said I've been watching you for a long time, so he probably knows.
Right. So yes, they get into.
Because she said he needs to pay for the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, that's the line. Yeah. So yeah, so she throws him under the bus, but I'm fairly confident Vader's smart enough to know that she's lying.
Well, and Vader's like, he matters more to him than the Grand Inquisitor, so you can't go and kill Obi-Wan for me. I need him.
Right. So, like just before they get into the safe house, it's just Leia and Kenobi, and Leia has her moment of regret, of like, I left when I wasn't supposed to. I went into the woods to go play. It was just for fun, but it was my fault.
Yeah.
But like Obi-Wan's like, it's not your fault. Like,
also, can we talk about how they keep hiding in the middle of an alley?
Well, where else are you gonna hide?
I don't know, but this is the
hide under a big like
something.
Tote or something.
This is the second time in 2 episodes that they've been hiding in alleyways.
Well, where else are you gonna hide?
Get seen from both ends.
They're in a little village in the desert.
Find a box somewhere, a basket. I don't know. It's just like, come on, guys, you're in the open. Stay here and hide out for 3 hours or whatever it was.
Okay, take a chill pill. It's just a quick little hideout for like while she went in to check her hiding spot, but it was fine. I didn't whatever. But they then go into the hideout, which is supposed to be a droid repair shop, I believe it was, kind of like the face of that is. And then that droid is in there. What do they call it? Not a mover droid. What are they? I can't remember what they called it, but
Ned B.
Ned B. NED-B. Ned B. Like, what kind of name is that for?
Her name is Lola.
Lola 59. L0 LA 59, but she's called it Lola, which is cool.
What did it say?
What's the name of the droid is? The type of droid. I'm not sure, but
labor droid.
Is that what it is? Labor droid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Labor droid. And he doesn't talk, which I feel like he does talk. He's just very, very selective when he does. I think we're gonna hear him talk at some point. That's my guess.
Maybe. I think maybe they might not have voice boxes.
I don't know. I'm just saying if he's working at a droid repair shop, he could have went out looking, just grabbed one and put it in there if you needed it.
Hey, chat, chill. He's not greater than Clink. Chill.
Oh yeah, Clink is lame, dude. Goes
no, we're not
Gonk droids all the way.
We're not doing this.
Gonk droids for life. I'm just saying, we see Gonk droids all over the galaxy. We've seen it in the show.
Clink is the cutest, and there's only one of him.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
I miss Andrew. He would support me.
Oh, he's not here, so it's a tough one. So then they have a little secret door that goes into a little hideout spot.
And this is where it gets crazy.
This is where it gets crazy on all kinds of parts. But here's the thing. You know what this is supposed to be a hideout spot for whoever they're smuggling. But you know what I noticed they didn't have in there?
Coffee.
They did not have a coffee pot. Like, you've been on the run trying to, find freedom.
Going through the path is what she calls it.
They do call it the path. And they're trying to make a network of paths. But you'd think that they have some hot beverages, to help you relax.
It's stressful out there, man.
Get ready for your journey to have a nice cup of coffee. They could be serving something called Wesley Andrews coffee and tea. Some people like tea to relax themselves. So, and coincidentally, Wesley Andrews coffee and tea is the sponsor of our episode today.
What?
Yeah. And if you're a Jedi on the run, or you have a Force-sensitive kid that you're trying to get a new life for, smuggle across the galaxy, and you love coffee, well, we got a deal for you. So let's take a listen to our sponsor tonight.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. So we learned that this hideout spot is a place of continual use of people being smuggled to, and it seems like I'm not gonna say there's a focus on Force sensitive people, Jedi, but it seems like it's a notable thing. And so this is where, from last episode, where the fake Jedi Haja sent the mother and child, I'm assuming, to this spot because it says they, try and save Force-sensitive children and stuff. So I think that mother and child went through just the day before or 2 days before.
True, I didn't think about that.
Went through this.
So maybe he's not as scrummy as he.
Right. And so it's like, they're trying to save these people. And so, to get these people to trust them, they have a fake Jedi to inspire them. Oh, I trust a Jedi, and they can get them to this network of, they call it the path. And they say from the path, this location, they are sent to a planet called Jabim, where they get new identities made. But we get a name drop. Quinlan Vos is alive.
Yep.
So Quinlan Vos, if you don't know, if you're new to the Star Wars stuff, but he was a Jedi in the Clone Wars that we see a little bit of, but we also see him in the background of the Phantom Menace on Tatooine. He's sitting in a shop or whatever, and he's a Jedi. And so he's a cool character. I kind of always thought of him as a surfer dude kind of guy. He has cool, maybe dread braid type things, and then cool paint on his face, and he's just a cool guy. And so he's alive, and so I had to ask people in the Discord more about his story because he has a canon book that I haven't read because I don't read that much, and so during Clone Wars he does turn to the dark side, falls in love with Ventress, blah blah blah, and then turns back to the light. And so that's the last we heard of him. But it's 10 years later, he's still alive and he's helping. It seems like he goes through this on a regular basis, and he leaves a note on the wall. And so I thought that was great, and I feel like we're gonna see him in this show. So here's my tinfoil hat theory of this is what's gonna happen in the show. So we know that Obi-Wan is very rusty in his Force ability and discipline and all this stuff. And we know that in the Clone Wars, there was a whole arc where Quinlan Vos and Kenobi worked together on a mission. I believe it was the Zero the Hutt mission when he got taken out. Yeah. I think that was the story. I can't remember, but they were. I know that there was that story arc where they were working together, and so they have a past relationship where they work together. I think Quinlan Vos is going to retrain, help him get balance for Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's going to be learning and training with Quinlan Vos.
That's how you think.
They're both going to go after Vader, and it's them two fighting Vader. Vader's going to kill Quinlan Vos, and then Obi-Wan's going to escape or whatever. So I think we're going to see Quinlan Vos train Obi-Wan and then get killed by Vader. That's my tin hat theory of what's going to happen.
Talk about tin hat.
So I don't know. I thought this was great. Oh wait, crap! I was supposed to play a voicemail first. Jerica sent in a voicemail about this, so let's play that quick.
Hey, Empire Radio. It's Jerica. So this is after I have watched Kenobi and slept on it because I watched it at 2 a.m.
Dang, okay.
So I was not expecting a Quinlan Vos name drop at all, but I'm so glad we did. Do you think he's going to have any other purpose in the show other than a name drop of he's been helping people and he actually is confirmed to survive now? Just let me know what you think, and may the Force be with you.
So, Drew, do you think we're gonna see him?
It's possible.
No, I'm asking, do you think we will? Yes or no?
I want to. I want to see more Jedi through this situation. I don't think he's gonna die to Vader by fighting with him. Well, now, is it possible that he does help him connect to the Force better? Yeah, that's possible. But I know that Obi-Wan is very adamant about being Ben right now and very adamant about not trying to connect to anyone. Because he doesn't want to be found.
But he was excited to see Quinlan Vos's name.
He was happy.
He got
but then got
perked up. So
yeah, he got perked up for sure. And he read it, but then right after that, he said, "I'm Ben now. I'm not Obi-Wan" to her. So
it is true. But I don't know. Great question, Jerica. I definitely. I don't know. I just want to see Quinlan Vos. That's all, because it's.
No, it'd be sick. People are saying in the chat too, like, are we gonna see Ahsoka in the flashback with Anakin?
Oh yeah.
You think?
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna get a flashback of Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, and Rex.
Okay.
And I might ugly cry in that.
Dude, I would 100% ugly cry. I'm ugly crying thinking about it, but. Cool. Okay, all right. Weren't you adamant about how we're not going to see Ahsoka in the show?
I said in a flashback we would see her, but not in this timeline. Like we're not going to see him, but we'll definitely see. I think we're still going to get multiple flashbacks coming up. I think we're going to get flashbacks with the third sister when she was recruited by Vader or something like that. I think we're going to see some more Order 66 stuff. I don't know. I think we're going to get a flashback of.
Is it the rumors too that Maul might be in this?
That was a rumor that was confirmed. That's not going to happen.
Oh, okay. Well,
at least they said that about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man. They lied about that. So, but I don't think there's any purpose for Maul.
Spoilers, jeez.
Hey, it's been over 6 months. Deal with it.
Sure.
But yeah, so they're having all these conversations in the back, and then troopers are now going door to door, and they kind of look around the shop, see nothing. And Tala is then getting ready in the back, changing her outfit and putting her blaster on, and Leia's like, I want you to teach me how to shoot. And like Kenobi's like, whoa, now hold on.
Chill.
Not giving this girl a blaster, but Tala says she could be a great fighter someday. And Obi-Wan's like, I think she could be. So
that was after the troopers came in and tried to find
and
went through it, and they left.
And then when they're ready to go, they open up another door to a tunnel system.
Mm-hmm. This whole concept is very cool because it reminds me, and I think the whole point of it is to remind you of like the Underground Railroad.
Right.
Like that's the whole concept of this.
Right.
So I think it's so cool.
Yeah, throughout history, there's always been tunnels trying to get people to safety, and this is their version of that. And because she said earlier, like they wants to create a network of these paths throughout the galaxy, because she said that like people are doing this all around the galaxy. We're just trying to connect them to make a network, and so this is kind of like the starts of a rebellion where people are working underground to fight the Empire.
Obi-Wan's like, why would you do this? And then she said, like, I joined up at to the Empire right away, and I've done some bad things, and she doesn't want to be part of the Empire anymore. So I mean, do you think at one point she was actually part like that high ranked, and that was her former outfit, or do you think she stole that?
No, she's still working in the Empire because she's with those troopers in the transport.
But she killed it. So you think that she's still part of it?
Yeah, because
wow.
Because Leia says, like, how does it make you feel to always have to pretend?
Oh.
So she's working undercover in the Empire because she's like, it's terrible, but I know that I can still help people in this position. Like I'm pretending, but I'm still helping people.
That makes it so much cooler. I didn't put that together. That she was actually part of them. I thought she just stole someone's outfit and she's like pretending.
Right. But as they are entering into the tunnel system, Kenobi has a reaction in the Force, and he's almost like collapsing, almost like he's having a searing headache or something.
Or he's like fainting.
And you could tell he's sensing something. And so I wish I caught this, noticed this early, because I just like, oh, he's sensing the Inquisitors are here. Like, I should have known he's sensing Anakin's presence for the first time. Mm-hmm. But he goes back and looks out the window. He's like, he sees the Inquisitors. And does he tell them to go before or after he sees Vader? I think it was
after.
After he's like, promise me you'll get her back to Alderaan. I will, lead them away from you, type of thing. But we see the three Inquisitors standing there. It's like in submission, while you hear Vader's breath, walks in, and starts walking down the path. Now, what I thought they did really great here was they mimicked Vader's actions in A New Hope when he senses Obi-Wan and Death Star, where he stops and kind of looks up diagonally. Like that is they mirrored that scene of him sensing Obi-Wan. And he's like, I haven't sensed the presence like this since, and then he continues walking. Like it's literally that same action by Vader walking down this street, and he does what the Grand Inquisitor does or teaches. That's like in that kind of like the opening type scene from episode 1, where he's like, because the line that he said is the Jedi hunt themselves, and so what he does to try and draw out Obi-Wan is to start killing people. Yeah. And this is so terrifying. Like the first guy pulls out the dad of the family through the window.
Like through the window.
And then the son comes out, dad, and then he breaks the neck of the kid.
Yep.
Like, holy nuts.
And
like,
then the mom is sitting there and both her husband and son just died in front of her eyes.
Right. And then like...
And he left her alive.
Yeah, and then some other person is like on side and just force grabs him and is like dragging him down the street. Girl, and then he's just trying to draw Kenobi out, and then he goes out into an alley again. And like to get like a better view, and then Vader, he pushes like some boxes away and there's two people hiding behind it, and then that's when Obi-Wan's like looking from the alley, and then quick snap, like Vader quick turns his head and then Obi-Wan's gone. But oh man, that was just a terrifying. It was a very subtle terror.
Yeah, like we were talking about in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, so pretty good. So then we see Obi-Wan running kind of through like a mining place, like, or whatever.
Right after that, you see the third sister trying to go after Vader, and then the fifth brother said, "No, we're supposed to stand back and look, search the village."
And so this is kind of like where my notes kind of
got bundled,
got kind of like sparse. So
yeah, Obi-Wan's walking through like a bunch of sand mining.
Yeah, and
things.
He goes around like a hill, and then Vader's there.
With his lightsaber.
And then Obi-Wan takes out his saber, and he's like, I'm out of here, and runs away. And then, but very quickly,
it reminds you of the Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Like, he's kind of being sneaky. He kind of has that kind of like hobble run when he was sneaking through the Death Star and stuff like that.
And so, well, okay, I'm going to kind of break this up into two things. I'm going to talk about the third sister stuff, and then we'll talk about the Vader stuff. But so while this Vader Obi-Wan stuff is going on, the third sister is, and everybody, like the troopers and whatever, they're kind of searching the town again. But the third sister, while she's walking down the street, sees Ned B leave very calm out of the shop, and she sees that and then goes in there and then searches the shop, finds a hidden room, finds a hidden path. But when she's in the room, when she's looking at the walls, she sees a carving of the Jedi symbol.
Yep.
And she kind of touches it because we see that from the trailer, and I think that's another evidence that she was that girl from the flashback, because she's like remembering where she came from in that moment. And I felt like, I don't know, to me it felt like she kind of had a regret in that moment. I don't know, it just kind of the way her expression was, or maybe like a fondness, maybe not a regret, but like a fondness, like I miss those days type of thing. And so maybe she's going to see the error in her ways and, turn back to the light. I don't know. I doubt that. But I think it's just more confirmation that she's that girl from the flashback.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you think the same thing, that this is her remembering?
I think it was her remembering the symbol and kind of maybe not getting a flashback, but maybe she's like pondered, like she remembered where she originally came from. But I don't think it gave her any regret. If anything, I think it gave her fuel to keep trying to find Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan is, she hates Obi-Wan right now for some reason.
Right.
Because he left her behind, essentially.
Yeah. So then she follows down the path to try and catch up to Tala and Leia, who are trying to make it to the end where there's a pilot who's going to take her to Jabim, I believe it was called. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's happening. And then, Kenobi, he then comes around and Vader's there again. And so he turns on his saber.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just see Vader's chest plate, like with his lights on it, coming from the darkness. And then ignites his saber. And then Obi-Wan's like, "What have you become?" or something like that. And then Vader's like, "I am what you made me," or something like that. Which, the first time I listened to it or watched this, I was like, I'm evil because you made me evil. But then the second time, I was like, oh, he's just referring to like his machine and stuff.
The machine.
Like, you took off 3 of my 4 limbs,
Mm-hmm.
left me to burn and die, and I'm this way because of what you did to me. So it could go both ways, but I think it's mostly just the machine part. Like, what have you become physically? As I am what you made me physically. And then he runs again, I believe. Obi-Wan runs again. And then Vader catches up to him, and then they kind of duel each other, like in quotes. Like, it wasn't really duel. It was just Vader overpowering him and toying him. And he's like,
with one arm.
Right. And he's like, "You've grown weak in your old age," or whatever. And Obi-Wan's just getting mopped. And like, he's just getting thrown on. He gets force pushed away, blah, blah, blah.
It's a good fight.
I liked it. It was, would you say it was better than the duels in the sequel trilogy?
And the lack of duel in episode 8.
Oh boy, there we go again. Let's not get Drew started. But I really liked I think when we did what did the sequel trilogy do well, top 5, like I talked about lightsaber interactive lighting, and how like here, like the lightsabers are just bright, lighting up everything, like right on the face of everyone. Like, that was just great because they're in the dark.
Obi-Wan holding his blue lightsaber made him all blue. It was so good.
Yeah. So, so during any of this stuff, did you think that sand was going to be used? Like, Obi-Wan was going to use sand against Vader?
No.
I thought that, like, he's surrounded by sand. Like, I thought Obi-Wan was going to, like, force push sand at him or something. I don't know. Like, I thought it would have been funny, but also it would have made sense, like, tactically, because he probably knew Anakin hated sand. But I just thought that was going to happen. But they come to a clearing, and it's kind of like a dead end. There's a big hill right there. And then Vader knocks over a container of crystals or something. Like, we didn't know what it was.
Holes? Something like that?
Something.
Something flammable.
I was like, okay, that was really weird. Like, why did he just randomly knock this over? Like, I didn't get it. And then he takes Obi-Wan, force chokes him up in the air. Kenobi drops his saber, and then I really liked how Vader like squatted down with his lightsaber to like ignite these crystals that caught on fire. I thought it was just kind of I've never thought of Vader like squatting down like that. I don't know. It was just like, I don't know. It just seems like a very, I don't know. He's just he's just so tall and big that like he has to like crouch down to touch the ground with his lightsaber. I don't know. It was just a cool scene. And then he's like, "I'm gonna make you suffer," and he just pulls Obi-Wan into the flames. Like,
well, he said, "Now you will suffer," and then "Now you will suffer, Obi-Wan," and then threw him into the flames.
I was like, this is really weird because like we don't see him with burns. Later on, I was like, how is his face not getting burned and all that extreme heat? And like, how is his
and his hair not on fire?
Hair not on fire or
the
singeing away?
Anakin's was.
Right. I was like, okay, whatever. But he had that robe on, so I guess Jedi robes are
the goat.
The goat. And
then he pushes him out, and when Vader pushes him out of the fire, he also like pretty much puts out the fire at the same time.
Right. And so, so before this the scene happened or during the scene or whatever, Leia tells Tala that, hey, Obi-Wan's not going to be okay by himself. And at first, Tala's like, I'm not going to go help him. I'm going to stay with you. And then she looks back later on and is like worried. And then Leia's like, I can make it by myself. You go help him. So Tala goes and helps him. So when Vader, puts out the flames and the troopers arrive, one trooper is going to, probably like arrest Kenobi. Tala is up on the hill and snipes. Like it's like a pistol with a sniper on it, scope, and like snipes the trooper. And then she shoots something and it explodes sets those things on fire again. And then Ned B goes in and grabs Obi-Wan, which I thought was weird because Vader force pushed the flames out. I'm like, why didn't you just do it again?
She also blew up something that maybe kept the fire going.
Like the fire was way bigger, but I'm like, Vader could definitely. He's like one of the strongest Sith Lords in the history of things.
That was like a weird thing.
He can't force pull Obi-Wan.
Also, like, why couldn't he sense her on the ridge and just choke her out?
Well, he's just so enraged and furious. He's just so focused on Kenobi. Obi-Wan in a moment. But I was like, come on, Vader. Like, just lift him up.
Yeah.
Lift him up over the flames. Like, he could have, like, thrown his lightsaber through the flames, cut the droid in half. Like, I don't know. Whatever. It's just cool. Narrow escape. But then at the very end, Leia gets to the end of the path, and the third sister is there waiting. And she's like, Leia's like, are you the one I'm supposed to catch up with to get me out of here? And he's like, unfortunately, he couldn't make it, but I'm here instead. And then you just see the pilot dead on the ground, and Leia looks over, and then Leia knows that she's caught. And then,
well, and the thing that you have to mention is that the third sister was like in the shadow saying this, and it was like, "Oh, come closer," right? Because if she would have saw right away that was a third sister, she would have recognized her,
right?
But
even if she recognized the voice, like, you started to run, like, she's not gonna be able to escape the third sister.
Dude,
like,
I don't know. Apparently, no one can catch this little girl.
I don't know. As long as the third sister's not riding on one of those Vespas from.
So then you see it from the angle, right? And then you look down and the guy's dead, the transport guy. And then it's a third sister and then Leia slowly backs up and then clearly is gonna run away. And the third sister starts chasing her.
Right.
The third sister is like in a running pose, and then it goes black, and that's the end of the episode.
Right.
And I'm mad still just watching that.
I think there was a scene maybe just before that where Tala is consoling Obi-Wan because he's like laying on the ground burnt or something.
Yeah, right before she said you'll be okay.
Yeah, but so now where does the story go from here? Somehow they're gonna, obviously they have Leia as bait, like to draw Obi-Wan in somehow. So I don't know how they're going to do that. Like, how are they going to send a message to Obi-Wan so he knows where to go? I don't know how that's going to work, but somehow they're going to draw him in, and he's going to maybe.
Can Leia run under her legs? She could slide under them.
But I'm wondering, like, if they're going to do a trade, maybe, like if Obi-Wan comes, we'll let the girl free because. No, they don't know who the girl is. She's just the daughter of a senator. Like,
they know that Obi-Wan wants her so bad.
Oh yeah, but they don't know. They just know that it's because it's Bale's daughter and they work together. So it's like Vader's smart enough to know the third sister's plan, and so Vader doesn't care about the daughter. Like, he has no idea. Even in A New Hope, like when they're fighting or arguing with each other on the beginning of New Hope, like, he doesn't even know that it's his daughter.
He has no idea that was his daughter.
So, like,
now if they say that Vader knows in this, now that 100% messes up canon.
Right?
They can't do that.
They won't do that. So I think it'll be probably a trade where he's going to willingly turn himself in so that Leia can be freed. I don't know how that would work, but I think, other than, stuff on the Inquisitorius facility where there's blaster shots and the third sister's spinning her blade and all that jazz. Like, I think everything else we've seen has been in the trailers already. Like, there's not much left. So, like, there's a lot. There's like 3 more. We're already halfway done with the show.
Yeah, that's what's crazy to me. Is like, we're halfway done with the show already.
So there's not much left in the trailers that we've seen. So there's a lot of new stuff that we're going to see that we don't know anything about yet. So, I don't know. What do you think? Anything? Theories? Anything?
I don't know. I don't have any bigger theories. I think somehow Leia's gonna get her away. I don't know. I don't see the Inquisitor. If the third sister
Lola's gonna come to the rescue,
that maybe. I think maybe if the third sister catches her, she won't tell the others because she wants to be able to give her to Vader.
Possibly.
And then somehow she still sneaks away.
Right, because I was wondering, because we know that generally speaking, the galaxy does not know of Vader. Like, he's kind of like a secret. So, like, people, I guess, stormtroopers and military officials, they know who he is, or they at least know of him.
Yeah.
But we know that in Episode 4, when Leia gets captured, she calls him Darth Vader. Like, so she knows, a senator's daughter knows who this individual is, what he looks like. So I wonder if the reason in Episode 4 she knows his name is because of when she was a child, she met him in this show. Like, she's going to see Darth Vader in person in this show and knows that that's Darth Vader. And so then when she calls him Darth Vader, it's like, I don't know. I think that's very interesting. Like, I kind of hope that's how it plays out. But I don't know. Like, how did Leia know his name in Episode 4?
Yeah, I don't know. Because, like you said, like, no one knew of Vader. It was all just rumors of this black thing in the background, essentially. Like,
right.
But the chat's asking, why does the third sister need Leia now? ? Well, the thing is, I think it's because just in case they don't get Obi-Wan, which they didn't, now they have her. If they do get her, it's more of ransom again. Because no matter what, Obi-Wan didn't do his job, and so someone has to pay the price to come get this girl again.
Right.
So,
and
she's still valuable in that sense.
And she might also, because the third sister discovered this tunnel system, and she can read people's minds very well. Maybe she just wants her to use her for information, like, because she probably heard the name Jabim and where people are being sent, and so the third sister can maybe pull that from Leia's mind. She's
gonna be able to read her mind a little bit and figure it out. Hopefully, she doesn't read it too deep and figure out that
she's force sensitive, that she has a midichlorian account equal to Vader. But overall, I love this episode.
Yep. 10 out of 10 lightsabers. Or 10 out of 10 Lolas.
10 out of 10 cut in half stormtroopers.
Which equals to 20, because that's how good it was.
Yeah, so definitely a positive episode.
Yes, so. I loved it too. I thought it was amazing. 10 out of 10 fricks.
10 out of 10 fricks. Yeah. That's funny. Or frecks, we should say.
Frecks.
Yeah. So,
well, should we do it?
We need to transition over to everyone's favorite part of the show, voicemail time. So let's transition over.
It's voicemail time.
Yes. So if you're new to the show, at the end of every episode, we do voicemails that fans send in. And so we took a little break over this weekend just because we had so many stuff from Celebration and all that jazz. But normally every episode we do voicemails, and we've been doing this for almost a year and a half straight of not one missed week. So, and later on we'll tell you how you can send in your own voicemail. But first voicemail, well, we already listened to one of Jerica's that we just kind of played it out of order because it was related with the episode. But here's a voicemail from a first-time sender going by the name Squeaky.
All right.
Hi, Empire Radio. This is Squeaky from Discord, giving you guys my first message. Yay! So I got a question for you, because I hear a lot of arguments about this one. Is Star Wars sci-fi or fantasy? Let me know, and may the Force be with you.
And to you, Squeaky.
So, fun fact: Squeaky is the real-life best friend of Retta from the Discord.
Oh,
so
cool.
Squeaky has been pretty active.
And Retta was in the chat earlier.
Yep. So Squeaky has been fairly active in recent weeks as she's been introduced to the Discord community. So thank you, Squeaky, for your first voicemail. Hopefully it's not your last. But yes, Drew, I think this is a great question. Do you consider Star Wars sci-fi or fantasy?
Both.
You're just going to settle with both?
Yeah.
You're not going to side with one
it's
one more
both,
than the other?
It's in both sections at Barnes & Noble.
It is?
Sometimes it's under sci-fi, sometimes it's under fantasy.
Does it depend on the book?
Depends on the location of Barnes & Noble.
Now I wonder what it says. I have a couple Star Wars books here. What is it? Does it say? Do they ever put whatever category it is in the book, in the openings?
Jerica said, he got a point. I've seen it in both. Yeah, I've seen it in both too. So that's my answer.
So I would say that when I think of Star Wars, I think of it more as sci-fi than fantasy, because I think when it comes to fantasy, I feel like the universe of that story's universe is everyone is involved in the fantasy. Everyone is involved in the magic, or it's more an everyday thing in a community type of thing. Whereas in Star Wars, yes, there's the Jedi, which could be fantasy with the Force, but only some individuals have the Force, and some people go their whole life without ever seeing a Jedi. Or
isn't that the same in Harry Potter though?
Yeah, but the story takes place predominantly in the magic realm type thing, right?
Well, George Lucas himself definitely says that Star Wars is not fantasy or isn't sci-fi film. It's a fantasy film.
Well, George Lucas is wrong because there's so much
sci-fi.
It's so much science. Everything is so science-based. The technology is so far advanced in science. Whereas in fantasy things, I don't really think of it as there's science or technological things. Like the Lord of the Rings. There's no electricity in Lord of the Rings, right? There's no technology. It's just kind of basic
amazingness. Yeah.
Okay. If you've been a fan for a while, I'm not a fan of Lord of the Rings. Sorry, but in Star Wars, you mostly see science. Even in rundown Tatooine and other random planets, it's desert, janky buildings, but there's still advanced technology, to open doors. It's more science.
It definitely has that feel, but
so I would say
I'm leaning towards both.
I say 75% sci-fi, 25%.
Oh, there you go. So both.
fantasy. It's mostly science fiction.
Yeah.
All right. So last week we got a message from Jedi Master asking us about dad jokes. Well, he sent in a dad joke. So let's listen to Jedi Master.
Hey, Empire Radio, Jedi Master here. Getting you a dad joke from the all-new Dad Jokes book, so I hope you enjoy. I just saw a real idiot at the gym. He put a water bottle and the Pringles holder on the treadmill. Oh, man. Dad jokes never get old. They're the best.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Well, this has been Jedi Master Dad Jokes, Episode 1.
Oh.
May the Force be with you. Always.
Who wasn't there someone who used to send in jokes like that all the time?
No, there was David did.
Right, David?
No, okay, he did Stormtrooper poetry.
No, but I swear someone did send in jokes.
I don't know. We've had like 4,000 voicemails
I don't know.
over the
Either
past.
way, keep it up.
Yep. So
I'm
that's
down.
episode 1. So maybe he's gonna be doing this on a regular basis. I don't
Yeah.
know. So that was a strong start. Yes, the Pringles holder on a treadmill. You put a water bottle. Like, who does such a thing? But yes.
Stupid.
Do you have one of those a bike thing?
I have a Peloton.
Ooh, bougie over there. Weird flex, but okay. Do
You asked what?
you do you put a Pringles can in?
I do not.
You should do that for Instagram. Just put in a Pringles can in the Peloton while you're working out, and then put it on Instagram. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is from Retta herself. So let's listen to this.
Hey, Empire Radio. This is Retta from the Discord. And first, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the work that you put into all of these podcast episodes for us this weekend. I have thoroughly enjoyed listening to them and just appreciate all of the time and effort you guys put into them. Second, I've got a bit of a question for you. I'm wondering if you have a favorite lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars. Maybe like a favorite from live action and a favorite from animated. I think my favorite would have to be either Ahsoka versus Maul or Obi-Wan versus Savage and Maul when he's dual wielding. I think it's at the end of season 4 of Clone Wars. So yeah, thanks for all you guys do. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.
Definitely Ahsoka and Maul for me, hands down. I watched that on repeat multiple times.
Yeah, that's probably the best one. But
I literally watched it on Saturday.
But live action would be Obi-Wan versus Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. That's the best choreographed fight in Star Wars for live action.
This last one's pretty good.
No, it's not. It's just Obi-Wan getting wrecked. But yes, but you did mention the Obi-Wan versus Maul and Savage in Clone Wars. That's a great one. I've watched that one over and over again. There's so many great ones. There was the Dooku versus Anakin in Clone Wars, where it's like at like a dinner table, like a long dinner table, and like throwing like forks at each other and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Anakin almost beats Dooku, but then he takes out the Force Lightning and stops him. But that's a good one too. But there's so many.
Snow in the chat said, Obi-Wan and Maul in Rebels is up there.
Oh yeah, that one too. That one's a very beautiful fight. Just because it's boom, 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 and then it's done. Very emotional. Mm-hmm. But yes, thank you, Retta, for your kind words too.
Which with that, Obi-Wan has to start practicing with the lightsaber again.
Right. He's gonna have an awakening. It's like, oh crap, I can't be depressed in a cave anymore. I gotta like.
Yeah, because the whole point of that scene was to show like he was that much better than Maul at that point. And that,
right.
And so if we don't see him getting better,
and they said, last year or whatever, that we're gonna see one of the best Star Wars duels ever. And so I think
this is definitely not it.
This one definitely is. So when there is a big, huge duel in this show, like climax, probably last episode, it's probably going to be the best. I'm hoping it's going to be the best.
What if what's his name helps train Obi-Wan in dueling again?
Who?
To fight Maul. The guy, what's his name?
Ray Park?
Not Ray. What?
Who are you talking about?
No, like the guy in the other Jedi. What's his name that we were just talking about?
Oh, Quinlan Vos, you mean?
Yeah,
That he's gonna help train.
Obi-Wan.
That's what I said earlier in the show.
Yeah, but you said he was gonna die. I'm just saying, like, what if he just?
Well, he's
helps him
gonna.
train?
I think he's gonna help. That's what's gonna get him back on track. Is
Yeah.
Quinlan Vos. I still think he's gonna get killed by Vader, but who knows? All right. Well, thank you, Retta, for your kind words. Also, we did put a lot of work in this weekend. I was editing like crazy to get stuff out as fast as possible. So, yeah. So, thank you for the question, Retta. Next voicemail is from Jerica.
Hey guys, it's Jerica. I was just wondering what your favorite announcement from Celebration was. Mine was just a lot of the things from the Mando Plus panel, but specifically watching Rosario Dawson bring Chopper out on stage and then fully realizing, oh, we're going to get more Sabine in this, and it clicking that we could get Jason Syndulla and we can see Kanan's kid, and it makes me so happy inside. Let me know what you think, and may the Force be with you.
Yep.
All right.
That was my favorite part too.
Chopper?
The Chopper.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like so like Ahsoka is Rebels Part 2. Like that's what this show's gonna be. Is literally just Rebels, and I'm so down. We're gonna see Hera, we're gonna see the kid, so good.
I heard that season 3 of Mando is gonna have Babu Frick in it. So
wait, it's for real?
Yeah, Babu Frick is in season 3 of Mando.
Stop! You're lying to me.
I'm not. Google it, chat. Send them the links. But yeah.
If that is real, I'm pumped now. Never mind. But that is the best.
In all honesty, though, so on Monday night after we did the Bad Batch trailer breakdown, someone posted a bootleg of the Jedi Tales actual trailer that they showed.
Yeah, the one I was talking about.
You said you've watched a whole episode.
No, I watched it. It was, yeah.
So it was, they weren't able to get the first part of it, but I watched like probably like 75% of what was of the trailer, and it looks insane. Like,
I thought it looked all right, but
you didn't see the stuff with Dooku, and
yeah, I did.
You didn't see the guy that looked like Revan?
No. I think my version was crappy.
Yeah, there's like a guy that looks like Darth Revan facing off with
Maybe
Ahsoka.
That's what everyone was talking about, Revan.
And there's a scene when Ahsoka is being trained by Anakin.
Spoilers.
You don't want to hear this? You said you watched it.
No, I didn't watch all of it. I turned it off.
Oh, gosh.
But also, I'm saying for other people, you can go ahead and tell me. Did we used to have a spoiler warning button?
Not a button.
Oh, we should.
But the scene when Ahsoka's being trained by Anakin to help like deflect blaster bolts, and the troopers have it on stun, but like it really reminded me of when Order 66 happens and she's surrounded by stormtroopers and she's deflecting everything. It kind of reminded me of like that scene of Anakin training her is what got her out of that predicament. I don't know. The stuff with the Dooku and like how he's like turning like bad and crossing the line, like
that's gonna be sick. I'm actually really looking forward to that.
But and the Ahsoka stuff looks great too. Like
all Ahsoka stuff.
All the Togrutas, and there's a pink Togruta, which I didn't know they could be pink. I thought it was just blue. But
they got sunburnt.
Maybe possible, but yes, that trailer was an intense trailer, and it was like a bootleg thing. But
wasn't there a Mando season 3 trailer?
Well, I think they showed something, but like I didn't hear any specifics of what it was.
Yeah,
but I'm really excited for
Babu Frick. Yeah,
no, for the Jedi Tales. It's only 6 episodes and it's this fall. So at some point we're going to be recording 3 episodes a week for like 6 weeks.
Lord.
So we might have to have like Andrew come back and like you two like rotate so you can get a break.
Maybe.
But yes. So anyway, thank you, Jerica, for the question. There's tons of Star Wars news, but those are our favorites. So now we have 3 voicemails from Will. So let's listen to number 1.
Hello, Empire Radio. Will here. As Jar Jar Binks would say, Misa back! And, I'm gonna kind of do a behind the scenes a bit of my VCU takes.
Ooh.
Which involve my droid and my lightsaber. Now, the lightsaber is pretty self-explanatory. You just put in a color crystal, close it up, and then turn it on.
Someone's been
If
to
you
Galaxy's
don't
Edge.
have it in the right way, it makes that sound where I was like, "Here we go, everybody! I'm gonna get out of here!" And then it just fails. And my droid, he has a personality chip, which makes him sound like this. Pretty simple.
All right. So that's the first one, behind the scenes from the VCU stuff. I didn't know that if you put the crystal in wrong, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool that they did that.
That is like the cool thing about Galaxy's Edge lightsabers, but the thing is they're only the custom made ones.
Okay.
So like the one
which
the
makes
two
sense.
I have, yeah,
which
the two
makes
I
sense
have,
that they do it like that.
You can't like change, because the thing that's cool about that is also the kyber crystals or whatever. They also change the colors, so you can buy multiple colors, but you're actually buying multiple crystals, which is cool.
Right.
But with like the ones I have, you can't take them apart like that. So that is like, some people hate Galaxy's Edge sabers because they're bulky and they're big, but that part I think is really cool about it.
Yeah, that's cool. Like it's the only ones that custom made ones that you make yourself. So like it makes sense. Like a Jedi, because we see that in the Clone Wars when the Padawans trying to make their things that doesn't work right. It doesn't work. So
yep.
Cool. All right, next one from Will.
Hello, Empire Radio. Will again. I'm gonna continue on my behind the scenes of the VCU with how I made BB-8 sounds. Made BB-8 sound? I'm just gonna go with that. Whatever. So my droid comes with a quote-unquote personality chip, which if you are making a droid, they give you that option to like get a personality chip and put it in him to make him sound different. Now, if I take it out, it's just a normal BB-8, like so. And that's basically how I made the sounds or arguments between me and BB-8.
All right, cool. So Drew, you have some droids that you've got.
I have one droid from Galaxy's Edge.
Did you get the personality chip?
I don't remember. And mine is currently, I believe he's dead right now. He needs new batteries. So, can I tell you? I don't think we did. So I think it was a little bit expensive for us at the moment.
And it's one of those,
I don't know,
like the chips,
$25 or something.
Oh,
I don't remember. Chat will help me out. I don't remember how much they were, but either way, like they are a lot cooler. I don't remember if we have one. I know that one of Stephanie's siblings that made one did buy one, but I don't remember, because when we built ours, like all of her siblings did. So there's like 10 of them throughout all of our houses that we have. So. And I also have the R2. If you guys are just listening, I have the R2, but he's orange with a see-through top.
All right, cool. All right, and then a third voicemail from Will. We'll listen to quick.
Hello, Empire Radio. As I know, this podcast episode will probably get quite long, so I'm going to keep my voicemails brief to like 3. And my question is a very riveting one. What is your go-to grocery store? I know. Weird question, but it just popped in my mind. And hey, you said questions don't have to always be about Star Wars. And other people could send them in.
True.
Anyways, yeah, what is your go-to store? My go-to is a place called Aldi's and Lidl.
Lidl. I've never heard of a Lidl.
Never heard of that either. So for me, I always go to the chain up here in the Twin Cities called Cub Foods. There's one walking distance from my apartment, so it's very convenient. Occasionally I go to Hy-Vee, or not to Hy-Vee, sorry, Aldi.
Target. Oh.
Aldi, because it's my bus stop gets off right in front of one. So if I need like one item or something, I'll just get off the bus, grab it, and then go home. And occasionally I'll go to.
My droid just talked, so yeah, he's alive. That was creepy. I thought someone died out there. My droid keeps talking in the background. My bad.
But yeah, sometimes I'll go to Target because sometimes they have some cheap stuff, like their brand stuff is kind of good deals. And then I've gone to Hy-Vee once in a while, but yeah, Hy-Vee's a little too bougie for me.
It's like the same price as Cubs. I actually only shop at Hy-Vee, because our health insurance gives us a stipend for groceries at Hy-Vee, so we get like $150 a month or a paycheck to spend on groceries at Hy-Vee.
Well, how does that happen?
I don't know. It's just the insurance. We have good health insurance because my wife works for healthcare. But so yeah, so we get that. It's per paycheck too. So we pretty much get our majority of our groceries paid for. And with that, if you're smart enough, if you guys have Hy-Vee, you go on Sunday, and all meat you get 2 cents off per pound of meat, 2 cents off per gallon per like meat. So I buy all my meat on Sundays, and then I get additional gas off. And then on Tuesdays, you get 15 cents off per gallon no matter what if you use the Hy-Vee Fuel Saver card. And then you use your rewards from grocery shopping on Sunday for that. And like yesterday, I spent $3.50 per gallon, which right now gas is up to like almost $4.50. I had almost $1 off a gallon.
Wow.
So
that's pretty.
So that's why I shopped at Hy-Vee only.
Pretty strategic of you.
Yeah, I'm pulling a little Jeremiah there.
No, you're not. You're nowhere near me.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
How many tuna fish sandwiches do you eat in a week?
Well, the thing is, yeah, with that, I buy really nice meat and stuff like that. And all the money I saved on gas, I put into toys, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Then there's like some other stuff like Byro's up here that no one goes to anymore. Kowalski Markets, that's like a bougie place. Have you been to Kowalski's before?
Yes.
That's our biggest.
My wife loves Whole Foods, and I'm like, you buy half the amount of groceries for the same price. And I was like, no, we're not doing this.
So for Kowalski Markets, my work is like Kowalski's is our biggest wholesale account.
Makes sense.
So we make all their fresh and smoked sausage, all their jerky, all their snack sticks. So we're making like thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds every week because we supply every single. Because there's like 17 or locations or something, and we supply all of them. So
see, and my company works, and we supply all the Hy-Vees with coffees from different companies. So
that's pretty cool.
Like we're doing like 3,000 pounds of coffee in a day right now, and
that's a lot of beans.
A lot of beans.
All right, cool. Thank you, Will, for sending in 3 voicemails. Now we have 2 more. That's it. We're done.
All right.
But is on a high note. It's everyone's favorite, too, from Lucy. We haven't heard from her for a
Ooh.
while. So let's listen to
Will
Lucy.
is a high note too. Chill, Jeremiah.
He is a fan favorite. It is true.
And
But
he's a mod, so y'all be watching.
he is a new mod in the Twitch. So if you're throwing some bad words in there, he's going to get you. But yes, let's listen to the first one from Lucy.
Hi everyone, Lucy here, and don't worry, I am still here. I haven't quit listening to Empire Radio by a long shot. I've just been really busy lately and haven't gotten the chance to listen to your Kenobi reaction episodes or send in voicemails. But I will work on catching up again as soon as I have the time. I don't know what you've been saying about Kenobi, but I was really fortunate to be able to go to Star Wars Celebration this year and see the first 2 episodes in a screening with 7,000 other people. I thought it was really cool. There were some really funny lines. I love the flashback. I love seeing Alderaan and Leia and her family. And if Jeremiah's been saying the first half of the episodes are trash, there is nothing I can do but shake my head in exasperation. I have a sinking feeling you're all shouting at this recording because I said something controversial, but I won't know till I catch up. Have a great day. I hope there's at least one person agreeing with me in the chat, and may the Force be with you.
Wait, we did. Oh,
so we didn't know. Lucy, you should have told us. But also, this is a side note.
Could have been our spy.
We had another member fan that was at Celebration.
You guys.
Devue Twist and his wife.
What?
Went to Star Wars, and they posted some pictures in the Discord of them there.
If you guys do stuff like that, you have to let us know because one.
Yeah, we could have collabed with you guys. You could have got some footage, done a vlog for us.
Yes, you guys could have filmed, and if you guys actually have footage,
right,
you guys can send it to us.
Yes, EmpireRadioFans@gmail.com,
and we will. We'll put something together for you guys. You guys want us to, but geez, yeah, you guys should have told us because we would have totally loved you guys to take over the page for a little bit.
It'd been so funny if Devue Twist and Lucy
met
cross paths and didn't even know each other.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
Lucy, that is the coolest experience ever, and I really want to go to Star Wars Celebration in London.
Europe next year.
Really bad. It's probably not going to be as great as when it's in the States, but I still really want to go.
But you can go get some really good fish and chips somewhere, though.
True. And I've never been to London, and I can just tell my wife it's like a fun trip.
It's a business expense. you can put it towards a write-off.
Well, we go to Europe. We always spend 3 weeks, so we could do a full vacation kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, flying that far, you can't just go for a weekend and not. Come on.
But yes, Lucy, that's cool that you were able to go. I'm assuming you went with your family, so that was cool.
Lucky, jealous, a lot.
But yeah, if you have any pictures or videos you want to send us, we'll definitely grab those and then we can put them up on our social media and YouTube and stuff. So if you want, no pressure if you don't want to put your stuff.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. And
but actually, with that though, if any of you listeners are going to any cool cons over the summer, you guys feel free to send us cool cosplay images and stuff like that, and we love to share it at least on our Instagram. So
yeah,
like Jeremiah said, EmpireRadioFans@gmail.com. If you guys want to just send us stuff like that, we would love to reshare that stuff for you guys because I love that stuff. I'm becoming a huge con fan.
A connoisseur.
A connoisseur.
So
there's none in Minnesota at all. Kind of sucks.
Well, there's stuff here, but they're gonna be more specific. It's like an anime con, a small anime con or something.
Yeah,
nothing,
I think
big.
This nerding out is the biggest. There's no Star Wars announced there yet, and the biggest one's a WWE wrestler.
All right. Well, let's listen to this. Thank you for the first one, and we'll listen to the second one right now.
Hi again, still Lucy, and I do apologize for always sending these in at the last possible minute. I had to send in some questions for you though, so here they are. First, my Star Wars Club is having our last meeting of the school year next Wednesday, and I'm trying to think of what we could do to celebrate. We've been watching a couple of the movies and playing games for the past several weeks, And we didn't mean to do this, but we ended up watching something to please both Drew and Jeremiah. We watched A New Hope, and right now we're in the middle of Rogue One. Do any of you have ideas on what we could do? Also, headphones or earphones? From what I've seen on YouTube, you both normally wear headphones during recording, but I was wondering if that's what you normally use or if you generally prefer something else. I'm definitely on team headphones, although that started mainly because it took me until last week to figure out how to get earphones to stay in my ears. Thanks, and may the Force be with you.
All right, first question about her Star Wars Club last meeting. So, I'm assuming you meet at school because it's an after-school thing. What you could do is see if you can use like I don't know what they call it these days, like where's like
computer.
No, like I'm used to it being called like home mech, like where it's like the kitchen, you know, and how like to cook foods or whatever. You could like make like Wookiee cookies or use one of my Coruscant Cafe recipes that are on YouTube and make something together, like a cool dessert. Or if you want to meet outside of school at someone's house, make Wookiee cookies. Like everyone has to make Wookiee cookies at least once in their life. Everyone has their own. There's like a million different recipes, but you could do that. That'd be fun. Drew, any ideas for her and her club? Last meeting of the year.
You guys should watch this Star Wars holiday special.
Oh gosh, they only have like an hour, and they're not gonna waste it on that.
You should at least watch the first hour then, because it'd be funny.
Well, you could watch some episodes of Star Wars Visions.
True.
That'd be fun because there's a bunch of short episodes.
Watch Visions. You can
watch episode 4. Watch episode 4, The Village Bride, and then watch my presentation on YouTube and why it's one of the best things in all of Star Wars. My PowerPoint presentation.
Sure.
Did you notice in Stranger Things they were watching the Ewok show?
Yes, I was gonna mention that. So
I saw that. I was like, it's so
dude,
awesome.
I want to figure out how, if we could figure out if someone knows how to do this and get a clip of just that little clip, and then we can send it to Andrew and be like, even Stranger Things even Will from Stranger Things watches Ewoks because it's that good. And it was the original, because I'm like deep into Ewoks right now because of my kid, but season 2 doesn't have the same theme song. They changed it, and the art style looks different.
Oh, interesting.
So that was definitely season 1 because it was the best song ever, the song that my son still dances to this day.
That Drew absolutely despises, or Andrew
hates it, but I think it's like the best music of all time. So yeah, even Stranger Things watches Ewoks, so you can watch some Ewoks. I would always support that. Or honestly, if you have time, just watch the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's like an hour and 20 minutes or hour and a half.
You have like 2 days, 2 more. They only have one more
meeting, so
Ooh,
they have an hour.
Okay, yeah, maybe that will fit. If not, just watch the Maul and Ahsoka fight scene. That would be good too.
That would be cool. And your second question is headphones or
earphones?
Earphones.
Both.
I would say okay, here's the thing. I only use ear audio for the podcast. Like outside of this, I don't use headphones or earbuds really. So like this is just most comfortable, like earbuds or whatever. Like they hurt my ears too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't like doing that. Like if I actually like listen to stuff outside of my house and like had a smartphone, which I don't, and had something, I would want to use earbuds just because it's more discreet. But like
I do both. So I always have these on for streaming and stuff like that because they're audio headphones. So like their goal is to hear audio the best. So that's why I have these. But then I have AirPod Pros that I use daily, all the time. Like they're charging right. Oh no, they're in my pocket. I was gonna say they should be charging because at work, where I work, it's super loud because it's a warehouse building. So they have noise canceling effects on them, so it helps. So I just put on noise canceling and I just listen to podcasts most all day, every day. So it kind of drowns out the really loud noises, and it Yeah, so I use my AirPods like all the time. And then I also, with music, I have in-ears that I use. And I also brought them on my trip to ICCC because they're super small, and I can also plug them into the airplane TV on Delta.
So, fun.
Yeah. Always bring real cord headphones, not just Bluetooth.
Right. Definitely. All right. Well, that's all the voicemails. So let's just quick go over socials and whatnot, and we'll be out of here because it's getting kind of long tonight. But yes, so if you want to connect with us in any way, shape, or form, go to links.co/Empire Radio, links with 2 I's. That link should be in the description of this video/audio version, whatever you're listening to, watching. Click on that landing page for everything for Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. There is a link for the Discord. Join the Discord. A lot of fun there. And also a link for needlesslynerdy.com, which is a podcast network we are a part of. And if you are new, we had a string of like 2 months where we had fans send in some awesome fan fiction, basically, through their voicemails telling a story. And I want to have that illustrated. So there's a link on there explaining if you are an artist, painter, whatever, if you're good at that kind of things, you want to help illustrate that, there is a link in there about how to look up all these voicemails and listen to them, and you can illustrate it and submit it. So we haven't had anything in for a while, and I know people in Discord are working on them, but we have a lot. We have like 90 some voicemails we need illustrated. So if you can do anything halfway decent, send them in. We'll use them because that video will be awesome when that gets made.
Yeah. So. And like another thing to check out is the Discord, obviously, and then also with that too, go check our YouTube channel. We have other videos that are posted weekly on there as well, not just the podcast. Like I do the watch party. Also, if you want to catch those watch parties live, they're going to be before every episode on Wednesday of Kenobi, so you can also come in
on
twitch.tv/Empire Radio.
Yep, if you that link is that there in that landing page as well.
All this is in there. Just go check out that landing page. But yes.
Yeah, I think, and that's everything. And you can send a voicemail to do that also. Yes. So if you never sent in a voicemail, you got a good taste of what a wide variety of voicemails can be like. So send in something, and we'll play them as long as they're family friendly. All right. Well, next week, episode 4. Hopefully, we'll be able to start a little bit earlier. Next week, maybe 7:30 rather than our normal 8. But we are excited.
Yeah, part 4. We have a name. It's part 4.
Part 4. I'm ready to ugly cry. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So anything else, Drew?
Oh, I did ugly cry in this one. So if you go watch that on YouTube later now, because it was fun. So nope, nothing. Just can't wait for next week. It's going to be weird not doing a podcast like every other day.
Yeah.
So now that it's actually a week, sending those voicemails.
All right. Well, you have been listening to another Quinlan Voss-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.